Welcome to America's Fractured Politics, the podcast where we break down the big issues in American politics, get honest about the challenges we face, and search for fresh ideas and bold leadership to move us forward. I'm your host, Mark Mansour. Today, as we stare down the long road to the 2026 midterms, it's time for a clear-eyed conversation about what Democrats have to do, what they must do to reclaim Congress, repair public trust, and begin to rebuild the social contract that, for too many Americans, feels like a faded memory. Because let's be honest, the stakes in 2026 could not be higher. After the disappointments of 2024, when Democrats found themselves outflanked and frankly out-organized in key districts, it's easy to imagine party leaders falling back on familiar excuses. But make no mistake, the old playbook won't cut it. Voters are exhausted by empty rhetoric and triangulation. They don't need more clever slogans or performative opposition. What they crave is leadership rooted in bold, pragmatic solutions that change lives. Leadership that listens first and acts with conviction. So today we're mapping a pathway for Democrats in 2026, a path that is catalyzed by economic justice, revitalized by progressive action, and above all else, grounded in an authentic relationship with the American people. We are at a crossroads. Americans know that the cost of living is out of control. Wages haven't kept up. Communities hollowed out by industrialization and corporate offshoring are desperate for hope. Many look at Washington and see gridlock, platitudes, and a government that responds more to lobbyists than to working people. For years, too many Democratic candidates have run on the message of, "We're not as bad as the other guy." Now, more than ever, that's not enough. The American public is hungry for purpose, vision, and a government that visibly works on their behalf. The 2026 midterms present a defining test. Will Democrats shrink from the moment with safe, consultant-driven messaging, or will they seize the chance to change course, to inspire, and to lead with clarity and courage? The answer should be obvious, because if this party is not for working Americans, if it's not there to fight economic concentration and corporate greed, if it is unwilling to take risks, then there's little reason for anyone to believe Democrats can or will deliver real change. This is not just about winning another election cycle. It's about whether democracy itself can deliver for a nation fraying at the seams, about whether a politics of solidarity and hope can beat out one of division and cynicism. That means the strategy for 2026 has to be bold. Democrats need to listen, really listen, and then they need to deliver. Let's start at the heart of it all, economic justice. Americans are hurting. Even as the economy grows on paper, the profits too often flow up, not out. Working and middle-class families are stuck fighting a losing battle against stagnant wages and higher prices in every corner of the country. Democrats must make economic justice the central pillar of their campaign, unapologetically. Raising the federal minimum wage. For more than a decade, the federal minimum wage has been frozen at $7.25 an hour. Think about that. In 2026, it still won't be enough to rent a modest apartment anywhere in America. A Democratic platform must demand a living wage, nationally indexed, automatically rising with inflation, so no worker is left behind. Empowering labor unions. Union membership is one of the strongest predictors of higher wages, better health care, and safer work sites. It's time for Democrats to stand shoulder to shoulder with organized labor. That means defending the right to organize, protecting collective bargaining, and embracing sectoral bargaining to level the playing field. Look at the wins by UAW, Starbucks workers, Amazon warehouse staff. These are flashes of progress the party should proudly uplift and expand, not shy away from. Protecting American jobs. Democrats can't let political attacks paint them as indifferent to lost factory jobs. Rejecting bad trade deals, ending tax breaks that reward offshoring, and investing in homegrown and unionized manufacturing should be at the forefront. Voters must see that Democratic leadership means family-sustaining jobs, not just in Silicon Valley or the coastal cities, but in the heart of the Midwest, the South, Appalachia, everywhere. Calling out corporate greed. Every American sees it. Drug prices up 20% in 3 years. Groceries biting deeper into paychecks. Oil companies reporting record profits while gas spikes. Democrats must consistently name the villains: corporate price gouging, monopoly power, and a tax code tilted to billionaires. Show, with receipts, how a few are getting richer while most are getting squeezed. If voters can see, touch, and feel the impact of Democratic economic proposals in their daily lives, trust and turnout will follow. This isn't just a moral imperative, it's a political one. Every Democratic campaign, from rural Maine to LA, should illustrate this with real stories. The single mom working 2 jobs, the union apprentice building roads, the retired couple worried about the rising cost of groceries. This is about human lives, not abstract talking points. Let's talk healthcare. Despite years of debate and piecemeal reforms, American healthcare remains the most expensive in the developed world, with outcomes that lag far behind our international peers. For millions, a serious illness still means financial ruin. Rural hospitals shutter, sending shockwaves through regional economies. American entrepreneurship and small businesses falter because entrepreneurs can't afford to risk going without coverage. Democrats must own this issue and own it aggressively. They should champion the message that health care is a guaranteed right for every American, not a privilege for those lucky enough to have full-time employment or deep pockets. How can they do it? By articulating 2 clear pathways, each with concrete plans for action. Medicare for all. Streamline and expand coverage through a single-payer system, taking private profit out of basic care and eliminating copays, deductibles, and network confusion. This is bold, yes. It will take political will, but polls consistently show a large majority of Democratic voters and a growing share of independents support it once it's explained clearly. Public option. Short of full single payer, create a robust public alternative to private health insurance, available to everyone. If it works, if it's cheaper, more efficient, and less bureaucratic, let Americans choose and let the market decide. Either approach requires Democrats to name the problem unflinchingly. Private insurance bureaucracies and big pharma price fixing are directly responsible for unaffordable premiums and medical bankruptcies. Democratic leaders can bring these stakes home by telling authentic local stories. The following are fictitious, but there are plenty exactly like them. The waitress in Kentucky who lost her job, and with it, her chemo coverage. The Wisconsin farmer driving 90 miles for a rural clinic on the brink of closure. The small business owner in Arizona who wants to hire but can't pay $2,000 per employee per month in healthcare costs. Moral clarity pairs with everyday practicality. Show what this legislation means. Families who keep their homes, children who see the doctor before a minor illness becomes a crisis, entrepreneurs who finally take the leap because healthcare is no longer a gamble. Let's stop pretending this is a theoretical policy from some distant someday. Make it a story about now, about real friends and neighbors. Everywhere you turn, ordinary Americans are being hammered by the rising cost of living. Rents are sky high. Mortgage rates lock out a generation of would-be homeowners. Utilities and groceries eat up family budgets, leaving little for savings, let alone emergencies or higher education for the kids. For too long, the federal government has treated housing as an afterthought, something best left to the market. That laissez-faire approach has failed spectacularly. Democrats need to own the crisis, then move to tackle it with urgency. Massive federal investment in affordable housing. That means building millions of new units with a focus on community-driven development, not giveaway deals for corporate landlords. Rental and mortgage relief. Targeted assistance for families burdened by spiraling costs. Expand Section 8. Provide zero-interest loans for home repairs and first-time buyers. Crack down on corporate landlords. The growing influence of Wall Street in local housing markets isn't just an economic problem. It's an attack on the idea of the American dream. Campaigners should spotlight predatory rent hikes, renovations, and exploitative lease terms. Support local governments. Remove federal barriers and incentivize zoning reform to unlock housing supply, especially in exclusionary high-opportunity areas. Make a case that we all win when more people have secure, affordable homes. And don't let up there. Defend and expand programs that help with utilities, so vulnerable families don't face dangerous heat or cold. Keep clean water and broadband access front and center. Call it what it is, a matter of basic dignity. In the richest nation in the world, nobody should be forced to choose between rent and groceries, between keeping the lights on and seeing the doctor. Let's shift to another existential issue and a ripe political opportunity: climate policy. For too many years, the conversation around climate change has fallen into familiar traps. On the left, yes, you hear the urgency, but often in language that feels disconnected from blue-collar priorities. On the right, there's denialism and the pandering myth that fighting for our planet must somehow mean sacrificing jobs. The truth: climate action and economic revival are made for each other. Democrats must make the case, fiercely and consistently, that building a sustainable future is the greatest nation-building, jobs-creating opportunity of the 21st century. Here's what that looks like. Massive investment in green industries, from solar panel manufacturing in Ohio, to wind turbines in Texas, to electrical vehicle plants in Michigan, and battery storage operations across the Rust Belt. These are the new pillars of American industry. Job guarantees and a just transition. For every community affected by the shift away from fossil fuels, there should be federal guarantees, retraining, wage subsidies, and union jobs at the leading edge of clean energy infrastructure. No one is left behind. Labor standards. These new jobs can't be low, wage precarious work. They need to pay family-supporting wages, offer benefits, and support career pathways. The message: when we invest in green energy, we are building the middle class. We are writing the next chapter of the American story, one that honors our workers and secures our children's future. Deliver this message in the towns ravaged by deindustrialization. Show families once again proud of their community, restored by new industries. Environmental progress and economic progress are not in opposition. They are inseparable. Here's the secret weapon: listening. For all the debate about ideology and demographics, Democrats' great strength lies in reclaiming the lost art of showing up and hearing people out, not just at election time, but year-round. It's time for mass listening campaigns, not as a photo op, but as the foundation of every campaign. Town halls and union halls, churches and rec centers, listening sessions with parents at school boards, kitchen table chats, small groups, real talk, no press releases. Listen more than you talk. Ask what keeps folks up at night. What's changed for the better and what's gotten worse? What do they wish politicians would do but never even ask about? Authentic engagement builds trust. It surfaces priority issues that pollsters and consultants overlook. It shapes messaging and, more importantly, policy responses that match the lived realities of local communities. The pattern will be clear: good jobs, fair wages, affordable health care, quality schools, secure retirements, infrastructure, from resurfaced roads to broadband and connectivity in every conversation. Steer away from culture war squabbles designed to split the electorate. Instead, focus relentlessly on the fundamental unfairness of the current economic system and on the solutions Democrats will deliver. Let's talk about messengers. The best policy platform will fail if voters don't trust the people delivering it. Democrats need to recruit, support, and amplify candidates who truly represent their communities, not just in policy, but in lived experience. That means empowering women, people of color, union members, and young activists, those whose stories overlap with the struggles and hopes of their districts, supporting candidates rooted in local issues, the teacher running to fix broken schools, the nurse who's seen healthcare and justice up close, the union steward dedicated to bringing jobs back home. Prioritizing authenticity over polish. Voters see through rehearsed talking points. They respond to realness. These candidates don't just mobilize the base, they expand it, inviting new voters, non-voters, and skeptics into the democratic process by making them feel seen and heard. Big ideas and bold candidates are essential, but they're not enough. To turn vision into reality, Democrats need to relearn the basics and do them with vigor and humility. Year-round organizing. Campaigns can't pop up every 2 or 4 years and expect results. They must build sustained ground operations, knocking on doors, making calls, mobilizing online, and showing up at community events. Invest in local leadership. National communities should resource local activists and organizers in every competitive district. Listen to those who understand their neighborhoods from the inside out. Build relationships, not transactions. The best campaigns aren't about an ask. They're about forming lasting bonds that foster mutual trust and accountability. This kind of organizing doesn't just win elections. It builds durable power. It ensures that when big moments arise, a school closing, a factory strike, a disaster, the party is part of the community's response, not just an outsider with a clipboard. Grassroots power is how you win swing districts, protect vulnerable seats, and change hearts and minds. And it's how you make sure progress endures after the votes are counted. Let's be crystal clear about what's at stake. The 2026 midterms are not just about the partisan balancing of Congress. They are about the future of faith in democracy itself. The sense that our political system can respond to real needs, rein in corporate power, and deliver a better life for the many, not the few. If Democratic leaders try to hedge, triangulate, and offer half measures, we risk another repeat of 2024. Low turnout, fractured coalitions, and cynicism trumping hope. Instead, this must be a campaign of unwavering leadership. Declare the values as clearly and succinctly as possible. Economic justice, universal health care, affordable housing, climate action as job creation, real listening, and real organizing. Connect every policy to real life. Show not just what you want to do, but who and how it helps, who benefits, who pays, and why it matters. Call out the opposition by name and with specifics. Don't let Republican attacks on Social Security, Medicare, or union rights go unanswered. Name the giveaways to billionaires, the attacks on community institutions, the efforts to divide us. And finally, let's be honest with ourselves. If Democratic leaders can't or won't meet this moment, if they're content with the status quo or beholden to big money, they have to step aside. Make room for those ready to fight, to serve, and to risk their own political careers for the public good. Because this is bigger than one party. It's about whether we build the public's trust. One conversation, one policy, one community at a time. So as we move toward 2026, the challenge is clear. Are Democrats willing to lead with clarity, compassion, and conviction? Will they fight for those who have been left out and left behind? Will they make this campaign about the lives and hopes of working people, not just a contest between insiders? If not, if this party refuses to put in the hard work of organizing, of listening, of building new leadership, then it must step aside and let others take the mantle. We cannot afford a repeat of 2024. The time for small ambitions is over. It's time for a politics as big and bold as the problems we face. The next few months will reveal if the Democratic Party is up to the challenge. History and the American people will not wait. I'm Mark Mansour, and this has been America's Fractured Politics. Thanks for listening and for fighting to build a country worthy of us all.